Hi, I am Austin Game, and I will be listening to Growth and Grind Africa, the transformative talk show, every Thursday on Uniiq FM at 5 to 6 p.m. Let's learn, grow, transform Africa. Growth and Grind Africa. Live it, learn it, lead it. You are welcome.
Now, the question is, do you have ownership of that? Have you discovered who you are?
I have a pen. I bought it from the market. No. It was made by someone. I own it.
I've had an amazing time on the show.
I love local food.
It's every Thursday, 5 o'clock. And I want to just advise all you young boys, girls, even your men, women, and you want to learn how to hustle, you want to know how to grind, then this is your show. We have intellectuals, we have creatives, we have businessmen and women from all walks of life. And they'll be here to tell you how not to survive, but how to thrive in this economy. Thank you.
As the corporate sector evolves, Berkha Africa remains committed to cultivating world-class thought leaders and providing innovative, human-centered solutions that shape a prosperous future for African governments and businesses. About Berkha Africa. Berkha Africa is a platform that houses expert consultants from across the African sub-region that provide strategic sustainable leadership, organizational development, corporate governance, coaching, and ESG advisory services to businesses and African governments. Berkha's strategic thrust is to strengthen strategic alignment for Africa's development by bridging the gap between governments, businesses, and industry experts for leadership and business solutions, serving as a center for excellence and transformative leadership insights in Africa. The consortium is dedicated to shaping ethical, visionary, productive, and sustainable businesses and leadership across Africa. Through advisory, training, and coaching, Berkha supports executives, managers, and organizations in achieving excellence, growth, and sustainable impact. Visit our website www.berkhafrica.com for more information.
What are we talking about today? So today we are talking about African women rising. That's owning their identity, breaking stereotypes, and leading boldly. And today's episode is just going to take us on full drift, and I'm filling in for our usual host. I know I have big shoes to fill, but I came with extra socks. I'm having like 3 socks on. So today just stick with me. You're going to be blown away. It's going to be fire, and you're just going to enjoy this awesome session. So I had our colleagues go into the streets to ask a few opinions, to get the opinions of people, to know what their mind is about the topic we are discussing for today. So we hit the streets and we're asking, how are you going to empower the women that we have? How are you going to tell them to move on? How are you going to cheer the women? So we're going to listen to the voices that we had on the streets. We're going to hear their opinions. We want to know what they said and what they have regarding today's topic. So let's listen in.
So, African women striving to make a difference. I'd like to convey a message of empowerment and resilience. Despite the challenges and obstacles they may face, it is essential to remember that their voices and contributions are valuable to creating positive change in their communities and beyond. By supporting one another, embracing their unique perspectives, and persisting in their efforts, African women can continue to break down barriers and achieve their goals.
To African women striving to make a difference, I would like to emphasize the importance of self-care and community support. By patronizing their own well-being and surrounding themselves with positive influence, they can maintain the strength and motivation needed to drive meaningful change.
To that African woman who's striving to make a difference, never give up. Forge on, make a difference, even in the little things. Sow seeds today that will be nurtured tomorrow, blossom in ages to come, and your legacy will forever remain.
Wow. You know, for a long time, we've had the stories of African women being told for them. We had the media drafting stories on their own. We had even the culture, even drafting their own stories from their own lens. But unfortunately, that means we were putting women often in a box. And those type of stereotypes don't reflect the power. It doesn't reflect the diversity. Because you can't squeeze a million of women into one perspective. Because we have them in different boxes. Because we have 54 countries. We have a lot of countries. We have countries in Africa. So the reality of the woman in Accra is not the same as the reality of the woman in Nairobi. The reality of the woman in Lagos is not the same as the reality of another woman, even in Abuja, the same Nigeria, because you can't put the African woman in one box. And that's what we are talking about, owning their identity. You see it everywhere. You see it in fashion. You see the Ghanaian woman dressed in the nice kente. You see the Nigerian woman dressing nicely in a nice Ankara. And it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. You see, it's beauty, the natural hair, the locks that we have, the curls, and you see, it's something it's driving us now because we have young professionals mixing. We have people mixing Tree and English in the professional environment. So you can't just put the African woman in one box because they are not the same across the board. So I mean, like we have writers like Chiamanda, and and she's an awesome writer. She tells the African woman perspective beautifully, and it's something else. It's something else. So today's conversation, we are going to get straight into it. And we have a powerhouse in the room. We have an awesome woman in the room. I call her Auntie Kes. That's what I go by. So I'm finding it difficult to say her work name, her professional name, but I'm going to say the work name, and it's Abena Kesewa Brown. So we have Abena Kesewa Brown in the room. I call her Auntie Kes. So who is Auntie Kes? Who is Auntie Kes? So Auntie Kes is a professional with over 35 years of experience. She has combined both her local and her international experience in accounting, in banking, in finance, and in even learning and development. She's a powerhouse. She's a powerhouse. She's a certified public accountant from the USA and now a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana. She's an administrator. She has led teams through change processes. She's a trained advanced facilitator with focus on instructional design, the delivery of leadership, management, talent, diversity, performance, and change of programs. She's passionate about organizations and people. And she's the past principal of the National Banking College of Ghana. She's currently the executive director of the AYA Institute of Finance and Management, and as a fellow of the Institute of Directors in Ghana, she also serves on various boards and is now the chairperson of the National Insurance Commission. And lastly, she's a past. And lastly, she's a proud mother of 2 awesome adult children. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Auntie Kes in the house. Help me. Let's welcome Auntie Kes. Just give me a little wave and a little scream where you are. Even though I can hear you, I'm sure you can just scream with excitement wherever you are, because it's going to be an awesome session. So we don't just have Auntie Kes in the house. We have another powerhouse on the phone. She's going to be tuning and listening, joining us on the conversation online. And we have Patricia Abenakisi online, and she'll join in the conversation shortly. And ladies and gentlemen, my co-powerhouse is in. Coach Lizian, you're welcome.
Hi, good evening, Stanley.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. And good evening to our listeners. This is Growth and Grind Africa. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us, whether you're joining on Uniiq 95.7 or LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. This is the Transformative Talk Show. And like Stanley said, today is going to be a very interesting conversation. We're talking about women, African women rising and owning their identity, breaking the stereotypes and leading boldly. What is it about stereotypes? 2 years ago, my daughter just got into JHS. And she got back late from school with the senior brother. And I was like, I just finished cooking. Why don't you go clean up in the kitchen and wash up? And she's like, Mommy, why are you asking me? I came together with Tommy. And I said, yes, but you are the girl. And she's like, Mommy, that's a stereotype. So even though I knew what stereotype was, I had to quickly open my phone and Google, where does stereotype come into this? So today we're going to be talking about the African women on the rise, owning your identity. And ma'am, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We have, like Stanley said, Patricia is on the line. Hello, Patricia. Good evening and welcome to Growth and Grind Africa. Okay. I think there's a network break, but while we wait for Patricia, Stanley, I think we can dive right in.
Okay. So we are just going straight into it. Patricia is online. Hi, Patricia.
Hello, Stanley. I can hear you.
Hi, Patricia. It's lovely to hear your voice. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you. Okay.
Patricia, how are you doing?
Very well. Thank you. How are you?
Awesome. So for our audience, Patricia is the CEO for Sidat Consult, and she's the senior consultant. She's been hosting HR conferences across Ghana. She started off in Accra. Now she's moving into the regions. So, Patricia, it's an honor to have you join us to talk about African women on the rise. But while we get back to you, we want to come back to the studio and kick off the conversation.
Yes. So, Auntie Kes, I'd want to start with my first question. So, my first question to start with is to ask, what does owning your identity mean? What does it mean to you? And how has it guided your journey?
Well, the word that comes to me is authentic, being myself. Okay, so owning my identity is being myself and being aware of my personal uniqueness, understanding my strengths, definitely trying to avoid my weaknesses, which are plenty. Understanding my values, which I think was nurtured from my secondary school, Westby Girls High School.
Wow.
And we have values that cut across living pure, speaking true, right and wrong, and following the king. I mean, if you have those. That's basically
I love that.
what I
love
go
that.
by.
I love that. So it's a Wesley Girls thing.
Yes.
I think I've noticed that a lot, even from every generation of Wesley Girls. I think it has to be inculcated in a lot of our senior high schools. So we are hoping that that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're hoping that can happen.
And how has that shaped your leadership journey?
Well, confidence is the word that comes to mind. It's instilled confidence, and it allows me to take calculated risk, It also helps me reflect on self and where I have to reverse. Okay, I mean, you can be confident, but it doesn't mean you will not make mistakes. So sometimes you have to reverse, and you need to make sure that you do that and not be too proud to admit that this thing went wrong. Let me reflect on how I can reverse and do better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is powerful.
Wow.
I hear values. I hear confidence. And there's an underlying tone I hear, the God factor.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Patricia.
Yes.
Let's hear your side of it. What is owning your own identity? What does it mean to own your identity?
Well, thank you. For me, owning my identity means refusing to be put in a box. It means refusing to fragment myself. It means me showing up as my full self, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a consultant, as a CEO. It means that when you have me, you have all of me without apology. And this is what makes me lead with such boldness, because you won't put me in a box. I remember when I started Stereotype Consult in 2014, I was in my late 40s and I was newly married. And it was difficult because you're expected to actually handle your home, newly married, you just stay at home, take care of your family and try to raise a family and all that. But then the vision and the passion to do what I was purposed to do was so strong. And then it just told me that, the vision is bigger. Yeah, there were times where it was difficult, especially when I had a difficult pregnancy. So I had to, doctor's orders, stay at home, stay off work, don't do anything, Okay. And that's when I just started the business, and I had to close down, stayed away for 3 years. But I never forgot the fact that I'm more than a mother, I'm more than a wife. I have a business to run as well. And that the standard vision, was bigger than any season in my life. So for me, it's the whole of me. And when you have me, you have the whole of me, and without any apology. That Beautiful. Is what it means for me, owning my identity means.
Beautiful. Wow. Beautiful. That's a powerful one. Two things I running through the two of you: being your authentic self, and bringing the fullness of you into being, where your vision, your passion goes beyond the environment and not being coined within the box. There are a lot of African women, a lot of young women who have so much they want to do, but there are some limiting beliefs that are holding them back. Oh, a woman cannot do this. Oh, a woman cannot do that. Oh, you can't go beyond that. And Patricia, your story is quite inspiring to know that, yes, I am a mother, I am a visioneer, I am a worker. Thank you for sharing, Patricia. Jabna, you have worked and climbed your way to the top. right to being a principal of the National Banking College. That is huge. That is very big. What are some of the common stereotypes that you have faced or you have been confronted with in your leadership journey as a woman?
Thank you for that difficult question. My career started off in accounting, which was male-dominated. I became a CPA in 1994. So I typically was the only female in the management team, and some of the I didn't look at them as difficult because of my typical nature. I was able to work very well with the opposite sex, but of course I had the opportunity to be called names, Margaret Thatcher being one of them. And then in some circumstances, because I was female, some of the staff would be telling me, I had one staff actually tell me that, oh, madam, I thought you were coming to be our mother. So they were expecting me to be nurturing. And for me, nurturing meant that I looked at your potential and tried to bring out your potential. But of course, you do have some naughty staff who just want to misbehave, and then they want you to look the other way. And that's what they meant by me nurturing them and accepting their misbehavior. So stereotypes, there are so many. You have to be in a meeting, somebody will say, okay, please hand me on the coffee, or that sort of thing. But one thing that I did was I don't get upset about it. Oh, here's the coffee. I just went along with them. And because the moment you try to raise the issue, then they become defensive, and then they sort of shy away from you when it comes to certain things. Because most of these meetings, decisions are usually made outside the meeting before we come into the meetings. And if you're a female, you are usually left out of those decision making. So you have to kind of jojo with the guys, to be able to know what is on their mind. Yeah.
I see your values coming into place.
Oh, you do.
So would you say it was easy handling those stereotypes when they were happening?
I wouldn't say they were easy.
Okay.
I just I looked at Ephesians 4:26. I don't. I just make sure the sun goes down on my anger. I don't allow that to happen. I don't take it into the next day. I sleep very well, and where it gets tough, I'm just I go back to, Psalm 46, verse 10. Be still.
Be still.
Yeah. I just go into that and know that I'm God.
Wow.
So those are, because you have to, you are human, we are emotional beings.
Yeah.
And so you cannot say that certain things will not affect you.
Yeah.
So you just don't have to you don't have to react to the things that you may feel angry about. Just sleep it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Patricia, I would also like to know, what are some of the stereotypes you have also encountered?
Well, I can really relate to what Auntie Abina said. Personally, I have faced 3 major ones, and the first was when at 40 I wasn't married yet. Then I decided that, okay, because of what I wanted to do in future, I want to further my education. So I decided to pursue higher education, have a master's degree. And then I remember one concerned neighbor telling my mother to tell me to slow down on my on my educational pursuit. In her words, you know, so men will be afraid of you, and that they may not want to marry you, so slow down. You know, that was the first time I came face to face with. I mean, I've heard a lot about that, but for me personally, that was the first one I experienced. Be careful, slow down. You know, don't pursue higher education. You are a woman, and at your age, you are not married. You are chasing away the men. You know, so and that was one of them. The second one was when I got married, and finally everybody was happy. Oh, happy Hawaii, good one, testimony, you know, in church and all that. Then they said, okay, now you're married. So slow down again. Put your family first. You are now building your family. Focus on having children. You know, because that is it. A woman's worth is in having children after marriage and all that. So slow down. And that was a bit a shock for me, because prior to getting married, I was a professional. I was doing well. Yeah. So I didn't see why that should be a problem. But again, it was it. And the third was, even when I started a business, I was not supposed to go full time. I was supposed to run the business as a side hustle, you know, so that I find a job to do. Okay. Even my family, I mean, they love me. They just love me. They care for me and all that. But they told me, find a job, look for a job. So it means that what I was doing was not a job in their eyes. You know, and that was it. Those moments, yes, they were real. But then I also realized that the vision I had and the passion to make a difference in the practice of HR in Ghana, you know, those spoke so loud that I could hardly hear the noise. You know, or that those couldn't stop me. Beautiful. And I realized that, and I was consistent. And one thing that for me has helped me is the fact that, yes, the stereotypes were there, but then I had to prove that I could do it, and I had to be consistent. It wasn't easy. Starting at those days in 2014, entrepreneurship, especially for women, was not that popular. So I had to be consistent. And I learned that excellence and consistency are actually the best rebuttals for any stereotype.
Beautiful.
There's no need to argue. Just keep showing up, keep pushing, keep doing your best. Let your results speak for you. And in no time, everybody was aligned. That's what she wants to do. Let's allow her. They couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, so those are the moments I can remember. And I think it's common. But the most important thing is for you to have a vision and the passion. If you want to make a difference, then that should really be your focus, and not mind, you know, what others are saying. And they mean well. You see, those people who talk to you about that, they mean well.
Yeah.
They mean well. Yeah, but definitely you know where you're
your
going.
Your vision should be stronger than the well-meaning family and friends. Patricia, exactly. that's a very powerful experience you have shared, and you are not alone in it. There are a lot of women who are now going through the phase that you have gone through. Come to think of it, I remember about 17 years ago when I got married, and I got married early, and then I had kids, and I had to stay out of work for 5 years.
Wow.
To take care of my kids. And you see all your friends are progressing and all of that. So Patricia, I really align with what you are saying, even though our stories are different. But there are younger women coming up, and one thing that runs through everything you are saying, resilience, not giving up. kicking back, being consistent, looking out to make a difference.
Exactly.
And today you are, I would say you are a celebrity in the HR space. I look at your flyers all over, and I know there are a lot of women out there that really admire and value and want to be like you. So sharing your story today means a lot. I believe it's an inspiration, and that's what Growth and Grind Africa is here for.
Yes.
We want to tell the untold stories and inspire the younger generation, young professionals to see that whatever you're going through, you are not alone. There are people who have walked that path. You just need to hear how they did it so that you can be inspired to also make a difference. Auntie Abna, you have been called Margaret Thatcher. Even though you don't look it. But you need a very firm hand for you to really thrive up there, especially in the banking industry. It's a tough space. It's just in recent years that you find women at the C-suite. Usually it's an all-men affair. What can you share with us some bold decisions or risk that you took in your career, and how that has shaped what you became and who you are today?
I think at the secondary school level, when I was about to go to the university, my aim was to actually go and become a doctor, because I loved biology.
Okay.
Then when I got to the US, I actually asked, I had no parents there, so freedom. So I asked them how long to take. And that time they talked about, it was about 8 years to become a medical. You had to do your first degree plus, to become a medical doctor. At that time, I was around 18, 19, I think. And I added 8 years to it. And I was like, oh my God, this is too long.
It's too long.
Because, I had to hurry up and finish school and become very rich, and all of that. So that's how come I switched to accounting, because coming from, the math was easy for me. And, I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and do this accounting. Remember, accounting was not filled in secondary school particularly for Wesley girls. We did commerce.
Okay.
And commerce was my 9th subject. We don't even open a book before you go and do O levels with it. So I think I got a 6 or something in commerce. So barely knew much. The choice was commerce, typing, and French.
So accounting wasn't
those were the last subjects. French we sort of done because we didn't like the teachers. And then
what is it about French?
It was the teachers. Because we were concentrating on that. We have these French teachers who coming into the system, and we were in a girls' school. And these young men with the hairy legs and things like that, we got all excited, at that age. But at the end, I took commerce. Typing, obviously, was something that we didn't even understand, that it was a skill that you could learn, So at the end, when I did accounting, and I think I excelled in it, I was fine with that. And so my initial career was in auditing. I worked for the IRS in the US before coming to Ghana, and still continuing with accounting. The risk I took, or the major change I made was when I switched from let's say banking operations, which was also actually literally accounting, and I switched to learning. Okay. So now learning came easy for me because I went back to my initial wanting to help people. As but differently.
As a doctor.
But now
it's learning.
Now it's under learning and being able to center my whatever I did on people. So using the accounting as the foundation to simplify solutions or to even explain concepts. Because if you look at HR, most HR, people at that time, they didn't really understand the numbers.
Exactly.
They didn't understand the numbers. So for me, it was really, I understood the numbers. When I did my facilitation, I can tell you what a teller, when you make an error, how much it will cost the bank.
Okay.
I could break it down. And that's where I found my sweet spot. So when I made that, it wasn't a switch. Let me say it was a continuation.
Okay.
Yeah. But I stuck with it. And in the bank I was with was big enough to allow me to move from one area to another area without leaving the organization.
Okay.
And I think that was what I benefited and was able to use that to in the African region, outside the African region, and then come back to Africa and actually be able to continue with the learning. That's how I ended up with the National Banking College, because the organizational learning for one bank, now I'm doing it for 33 banks.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that was the and then, but remember, I'm still not an HR professional.
Yeah.
But I did get my HR certificate just this July.
Congratulations. You're still learning.
I die.
The learning doesn't stop.
Wow, that's lovely.
I said, now I have time. Let me just do it. So it was good because all the concepts and all my clients are HR people. So,
and how do you feel about all that, the impact that you have been able to make in your life when you look back from where you started off from?
I feel good because, when I go somewhere, of course, I can't remember people's names. Or somebody will come up to me, oh, Auntie Kes, you remember, I was in this bank, or I did something. You trained me here, you trained me there. Then I have to do the big smile and be happy. It's just because I also was a coach.
Nice.
Because we did strength coaching, Gallup strength coaching, and a lot of the people that I coached are in big positions in different banks. So it's kind of, it's so gratifying. It's so gratifying just meeting and seeing people do well, and I think that's one of the things that I have appreciated about me making the switch. No, it's not a switch, but me continuing in a different area. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. As interesting as the conversation is getting, it's time for us to listen to the song of the day. And in the spirit of celebrating African women on the rise, we're going to be listening to Berkha, African Woman. You love that song? She's from Wesley Girls. Awesome. So we're celebrating Wesley Girls. My daughter.
As the corporate sector evolves, Berkha Africa remains committed to cultivating world-class thought leaders and providing innovative, human-centered solutions that shape a prosperous future for African governments and businesses. About Berkha Africa. Berkha Africa is a platform that houses expert consultants from across the African sub-region that provide strategic sustainable leadership, organizational development, corporate governance, coaching, and ESG advisory services to businesses and African governments. Berkha's strategic thrust is to strengthen strategic alignment for Africa's development by bridging the gap between governments, businesses, and industry experts for leadership and business solutions, serving as a center for excellence and transformative leadership insights in Africa. The consortium is dedicated to shaping ethical, visionary, productive, and sustainable businesses and leadership across Africa. Through advisory, training, and coaching, Berkha supports executives, managers, and organizations in achieving excellence, growth, and sustainable impact. Visit our website www.berkhafrica.com for more information.
That has been given to you.
So now
The question is, do you have ownership of that? Have you discovered who you
I have a head. I bought it from the market. No. It was made by someone. I own it.
I've had an amazing time on the show.
I love from whether on Uniiq 95.7 FM, LinkedIn, or Facebook or YouTube. This is Growth and Grind Africa, the transformative talk show. The talk show that teaches you and does live coaching on air. Today we're talking about African women on the rise, and the conversation has been so insightful, interesting, reflective, and great learnings for young women. And today's show is not just for young women. If you are a man, for your daughter, this is an inspiration for your daughter, for your wife, for your sister. Let's join in the conversation and hear from those women who have broken through various limiting beliefs, stereotypes, and are making a difference and have made a difference. So we're back in the studio and we're going to connect with Patricia. Patricia.
Yes.
You have shared a lot about how you broke through some of the stereotypes. We want to hear, and this is not just for us, it's for all the young ladies, young HR professionals, young students, young girls who are now trying to face life, young women who have entered into professions, getting into marriage life, the phases that you have gone through. How do you think women can challenge some of the limiting beliefs within their families and workplaces without creating hostility? You know, when you want to talk about something, they say you are too proud, a woman doesn't raise a voice, a woman doesn't do this. Patricia, it's nice to know that you are a family woman.
Oh, yes.
What advice would you give?
Thank you very much. For me, like you said, yes, those limiting beliefs are there, but they are not walls to fight physically. Or like Auntie Abna said, you don't shout about them. For me, what has worked for me as a married woman is to use partnership and communication. Communication, because I remember when my husband and I, when we were courting and we started the counseling, then I was clear. The pastor asked us what we expect for our partners. For me, the number one thing was, okay, so I'm going somewhere. I have a vision. And so if as a husband you cannot support my vision, then I'm not interested in the marriage. And it was clear for me. And it was something that we sat down to talk about. So I'm saying this because now I move around all the time. I'm not at home. I shuttle between, I think among three places, Cape Coast, Accra, Kumasi, and sometimes out of these places. But my husband is stationed in Cape Coast. We had that understanding. before we got married, he was clear that he didn't want long distance marriage because of his experience. I mean, while growing up with the marriage of his parents. So he was firm that no. But when I had to move the business back to Accra, I started in Cape Coast. Then I realized that Cape Coast was actually not Cape Coasting for the business. So I had to negotiate with him. We had a conversation. I said, look, I know this is what you have said, but this is also my vision. Remember, you said you were going to support my vision. So this is me saying that I have to go to Accra so that the vision will not die. So we had a conversation, and he agreed. And so I moved back to Accra. Initially, it was for me to just go 3 times during the week and come back, but he wasn't working. So I had to go Monday to Friday. The weekend I come and all that. And we had to even open another branch in Kumasi. That was when we wanted to move start the HR conference in Kumasi. It was a tough one because Accra and Cape Coast is not that far, but Kumasi and Cape Coast, that is very far. But it still boiled down to conversation. And because he understood my vision and he bought into the vision, he became my number one ally, support. And those who know us will always, when he meets you, an HR person, he will not have a conversation without him telling you that, oh, my wife's an HR person. She does this. You know, and people who are outside of him are worried for him. You say, hey, you still call your wife sweetheart when she's not available, you know, and all that. So it's a conversation. For me, you don't have to shout. Just let the person understand. And usually it's a close family, right? Let them understand what it is that you are doing, get their buy-in. And once you are consistent and you prove with results that this is it, you get them aligned. And that is what has worked for me. I mean, any step that I take, I have a conversation, and I'm like a free bird. I roam about a lot. Today I'm here, tomorrow I'm here, and all that. Sometimes people are worried. Where are you? What are you looking for me? So because of communication and getting the buy-in, or even if it's a corporate setting, if you're not running your own business, if you are you are working as an employee, you still will be able to get things done by communication and getting the buy-in of the people you work with. And for me, that has been what has really worked for me.
Awesome. So it's not about competitions. You have to create an enabling environment, communicate with your circles, your family, as if you're a married woman, your husband. You are not competing. You are supporting each other and help them to have a buy-in in your vision to support. Humility, a lot of strategic humility, I think, comes into play too. Thank you for sharing, Patricia. So if you're a young lady and you have a dream, hey, don't sleep on it. Don't give up. Try to get buy-ins build a circle, build a community of support, communicate, and keep pushing.
And Vivian, just to add something, because you mentioned the young one. When I get opportunity to talk to young women, especially who are not yet married and they are pursuing their careers and they have a vision, I tell them that, look, before you say yes to that man, share your vision with him and find out if he's the one that will not compete with you. Because some men will compete and they don't want you to rise because they are the men. They have to be above you in terms of all the education, career progression and all that. So before you say yes, please have that conversation.
Have an alignment of vision. An alignment of vision. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Patricia.
Thank you, Patricia. That's a guess. So I want to know, so how can successful women create pathways for younger women to rise without facing the same barriers?
Well, the question really should be who and what the barriers are. Because they are not going anywhere. The barriers will always be there. And so for me, defining what the barriers are, and usually number one barrier is yourself.
You should look at yourself.
As Patricia was mentioning, you have to decide what you want.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the self-confidence and you also lack, let's say, female role models,
Yeah.
it becomes difficult, to have that vision that you want to actually execute. Obviously, there are several biases that are out there that you cannot do anything about them.
Okay.
When it comes to you being hired as a lady, usually, even we as HR, let's say professionals, women, we will negotiate lower salaries for
women.
women.
Yes.
I mean,
Why
we are part
is
of
that
it.
so? That's a big stereotype, and the perpetrators are usually women.
Exactly. Because there's something about women are married; they don't need all the money. I don't know. I don't know why that happens.
If you employ a lady, she'll go on maternity leave. She'll delay the work.
Yeah. So the biases are there, and some of the barriers. We don't have mentors. We don't even understand the benefits of mentorship. We don't understand the benefits of coaching. Remember that many years ago, coaching and mentoring and stuff was being done in the churches.
Yeah.
It's the church, you go to your priest if you have a problem. But now people are understanding that you can have independent professionals who can talk you through this. Of course, the economic barriers, and then there are some ingrained, gender roles that, we can't do anything about. So coming back to how successful women can create pathways to rise without facing the barriers. Accept that you will face barriers.
Acceptance.
Accepting it.
Yeah. Accept that you will face barriers and then come up with strategies. Okay. I mean, for me, strategy, I'm not going to wake up thinking about this. Life goes on.
Yeah.
I wake up, new day.
Yeah.
It's a new day for new opportunities.
Yes.
If you have someone you can talk to about a situation, identify that person. But if the moment you say I'm not going to face the barriers, that's the biggest, I guess, problem you are going to have.
Start with.
Yes, to start with. Okay. Yeah, so that's for me. Successful women can support the younger generation in the environment.
Wow.
But one of the things I learned, I'll end soon. One of the things I learned, I know one of the C-suite managing directors, female managing directors in a bank, a big bank, for that matter, had created a program to support women. And guess what? She was having problems with the women applying for this, for that program.
Are we ready for it?
Yes. Well, that was she couldn't understand, but then it comes back to, I think, what Patricia said. Some of them young women, cannot take roles that are above their husbands.
That is a stereotype.
It is, but it's a reality too. So they will not accept a role, or they won't even apply for it, even if they have the potential, because they'll have to go and deal with all that
back home.
It's either your marriage, your family, or your job.
Yeah.
So a lot of mindset shifts has to come into play.
Exactly.
A lot of mindset shifts. We have Coach Margaret joining us on the line. She says, indeed, it's a transformative show. And then she went on to say, it's a hey gay thing. Jose Joe says, wow, today's episode has been so inspiring. I'm encouraged as a woman to take giant and fearless strides. And then we have Ira Abna Crunchy says, thank you, Patricia. Patricia Abna says, thank you. A lot of women are aligning to what is going on in the studio. It's been a wonderful time. And today's session, we wish would have been longer. But hey, all too soon, our time is almost up. And we would have to take parting words from our guest. Yes. You have gone through the range, you have been resilient, you have pushed through. There are younger women who are coming up. What practical steps can African women take today to empower themselves and rise? Just in 1 minute and your parting words, Auntie Abna.
Visibility is important.
Visibility.
It's important. So start early. When you start early, you should be able to start the leadership roles outside your workplace. That's your practicing ground. Okay. You practice outside your workplace so that when you come into your workplace, you'll be able to have at least mastered a few things. Mentorship, coaching, support are some of the key things.
Coaching support.
Yeah. Are some of the key things that I think that anyone who wants to move or rise should be able to master.
Thank you very much.
Without visibility, you can have all of that, but without visibility within the system.
How do you become visible within the system? I know our time is almost gone, but just how?
Networking.
Networking.
With the right people.
You can network with the wrong people.
Exactly. Networking with the right people.
Networking.
Within the system. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Auntie Abna. And you know what? Patricia is also Abna.
Yes.
Patricia, let's have your parting words.
Thank you. Just to add to what Senior Abna said. Just 2 things. First, take the bold step. There's no perfect condition. Don't wait for the perfect condition. Start where you are. Start small. Take the step. Remember when we were going to Kumasi with the HR conference, we didn't know what was happening. Everything was in Accra. We didn't know how Kumasi will accept us, but we took the bold step. And we are in our 3rd edition in Kumasi. We are having it in October, 30th October precisely. And that is how far we have come. So be bold and take the decision. And number 2, invest in your competence. Look, be so good at what you do that they cannot ignore you. No matter where they are trying to box you or what stereotypes they are trying to throw your way. Be so good at what you do that they cannot ignore you. They may not like you, but they cannot ignore you. So just invest in yourself, learn and improve on yourself, and then add to what Auntie Abna said, be visible, network, and build support systems. Because going alone can be very tough. But the program is there. I have benefited from people like Lydiane and HRH.
Oh, wow.
And it encourages me that, look, these wonderful women have my back. I can call them anytime if I have a challenge. And they are always willing to support. So build that support. And women are supporting other women to grow. So, yes. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you very much. That was very inspiring. Visibility, network, build a support system, and be resilient. Stanley, we have some adverts.
Yes. So before we wrap up, I just have a few announcements to make. So LND Africa is having LND Africa Conference 2025 in Nairobi, Kenya, and you don't want to miss it at all. So it's happening on the 15th to the 17th of October 2025 at the Agal Grand Hotel in Nairobi. And this conference is going to be very transformational. So you can just visit LND Africa websites or social media platforms for more information, and just make sure you're registered for LND Africa Conference 2025. I want to see you there. And then Rainbow Consult has our transformational learning program happening. That's facilitating face-to-face learning. If you want to be a transformational facilitator, make sure you visit Rainbow Consult's website and then you register to be a transformational facilitator. And then Berkha Africa has another webinar coming your way. It's happening on the 4th of October, and we are talking about coaching for change, leading through uncertainty and transition. You don't want to miss it. Thank you.
All too soon, we've come to the end of the show. What an inspiring conversation it has been today. Yeah. In fact, African women are not just participants in history. We are makers of it. The stories we've heard is so inspiring. If you're a young lady, it's time for you to step out in your full power, challenge updated narratives, build a network. Africa is on the rise. It's not just for women. Africa is the future and Africa is now. And women have a role to play in it. Be good at what you do, be consistent, be resilient, and hey, don't forget the God factor.
And do not fear to fail.
And do not fear to fail. That's my key takeaway. Do not fear to fail. It's been Growth and Grind Africa, and I've been your host, Liziane Kwabeji, and Stanley stepping in for Coach Margaret. And we want to say thank you for joining us. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Networking all our channels across the country with news, energy, commentary, business, and sports. My name is Adeline Ejikum Abibio and
Joseph Oliver Cromwell.
Because it's a thing that has been given to you. So that is now, the question is, do you have ownership of that? Have you discovered who you are?
I have a head. I bought it from the market. No. So it was made by someone. I own it.